yourself or other guitarists that you've heard? Like, what's the process in your mind of when something is good?
Well, sometimes I just got to get on with work. You know, I just got to work. You know, you're in the middle of a record, and you know, you just got to come up with something. You know, you need material, so you just try and roll your sleeves up and look down and kind of craft something. And you know, so again, one of the really satisfying, seriously one of the most great thing about writing this book, the bits that were really easy, that I could have just really gone on and on and on about, was when I write about some of the songs that were written and the process. I decided before the book came out that, before I started writing the book, that I would definitely try and let some people in on what happened when I wrote some songs. There's this idea, I think, that you're not supposed to do that stuff because it's a bit muse or it's a bit guitar shop and all that. I thought bollocks to that. Because if people are interested in my life, they might want to know how I wrote this charming man. You know, I'm pretty sure they can take a couple of pages. You know what I mean? You know, you don't have to be a musician, but at the same time, you know, I didn't want it to get too technical or anything like that. And so those things were fantastic to write about that. So. You know, so in the case of this charming man, it's kind of easier when I've got a looper. It's a cross between the two in that, with this charming man, for example, because I had a bit of homework to do because the Smiths had a John Peel session coming up in a week's time, and our label mates, Aztec Camera, I noticed we're on the radio all the time. And they have really upbeat, bright, breezy songs. I said, why are they on the radio and we're not? Because, you know, it might be something to do with the fact that our songs are about the Moors murderers. We're all really slow in minor keys. And Roddy Frank's all like, I saw you whispering in the street. So I had to kind of read it. So I had homework to do. So it was a bit of crafting, but also at the same time, it was a beautiful sunny, early summer's day, and the window was open, and, you know, and the summer breeze was coming out. So I thought, right, I'll write something really upbeat, and, you know, I'll write something like that we've not done before. So I just did this. So happy, you know, but I actually felt that way, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So that bit of the process was application, okay? But then, so I put that down.
It must be amazing to have written something that immediately triggers a wave of emotion and feeling. I mean, you guys all feel that, right?
I mean, it was amazing how I felt like when I played that now. I was really that happy. I was that happy. But just gave me some really good, miserable lyrics on top of it to balance it.
Talk about your time with the
yeah, well,
yeah. I always felt like, you know, that band is so underrated. I mean, it doesn't feel like they get as much respect as they should. Their albums are brilliant, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, whenever we played in the United States, I don't think we ever played a show that we didn't sell out all over the country with the you know, I mean, again, you know, that was another thing that was great to write about, because I write about, in telling my story, inevitably, it's the story of a lot of my friends. Without being a roll call, it didn't need to be, you know, and so Matt Johnson was someone that I met when I was 17, before the Smiths, and he was 18, and you know, you just have those meetings sometimes with people. So I haven't done a few times in my life, but we just, it's like a soulmate, and he was this cool guy in London, and he was just getting they're together then. He was just about to call it that they were doing a solo record, and he was the only guy I really knew who made an album. You know, he was at 18, and so anyway, when the Smiths split and I joined there's a couple of things about that. One is that they were to me they were the best, my favourite other British guitar band around it. So I got to join my favourite band. Because you know, if you read all these Smiths books and stuff, it's all this drama and subterfuge and neurosis and all that's kind of there. But you know, now I sort of led this fractured band, and you know, there's this journeyman. Well, the fact of the matter is that I was going to be in there before I even met Morrissey, but I didn't have the train fare to go to London. And whilst the Smiths were doing our thing, which is, don't get me wrong, more than happy about, Matt Johnson was on his path, doing his thing, and he'd made Soul Mine, so we had the trip like. When he put that out, I was like, I should be in that band. That sounds like me. It really sounds like me. He wasn't copying me, that's just the way he played. So anyway, when I got to be in that band, it just made total sense to me. And, you know, me and Matt, frankly, had to take a lot of shit for it. But, you know, now that everyone knows the story 30 years later. Yeah.
Do you have looking back on the book now, do you have a favorite chapter?
Yeah, I think the 70s is my favourite chapter. Because, like everybody, well, if you're lucky, it has, it's not because it's about the 1970s, that's just a backdrop. It's about being between the ages of 11 and 18, you know, all that discovery, all that, you know, all those hormones, trouble, adventure, you know, and you know, I was pretty swashbuckling as a teenager, and pretty outgoing, and it was great to write about that. I was also very desperate too, you know, super desperate. I was desperate to get out of the biggest housing estate in Europe, and I was also desperate to sort of realise my ambition, you know, and get rocking, you know. But and I was desperate in case it didn't happen for me. So, and actually, I thought it was going to be a lot easier to do that stuff and write it. But because one of the things is I've never talked about it in depth, and I actually, you know, sat down and, you know, for, I don't know how long it took me to write that stuff, but there was a lot of difficult stuff in there too, you know. I was kind of like, right, okay, you know, I've done this bit, I've done that bit, right, you know, I'll write about my school days, and I'll write about, you know, meeting Angie, and I'll write about, you know, following the only ones around, and all of this and new wave and pop rock and everything, but actually, you know, there was a lot of stuff that I'd forgotten, which was about frustration, and I think everybody knows about that, no matter what, you know, no matter how great your childhood was or whatever, just the sort of frustration. If you do have a dream, you're really lucky, but you really, you know, it sucks if it looks like it's not going to happen.
There's a dedication at the start. Who do you dedicate this book to?
Oh yeah, the book's dedicated to Angie, who's my wife, yeah.
No. My question is, what is the secret to a long-lasting marriage where so many others fail?
Just really don't fuck up a really good thing. That's you know, and just surround yourself with really good people who will call you out if you do, you know. That's the thing. I've always had really, really great people around me. As I said, the book's kind of, you know, without being too much of a roll call, but it's been fantastic to be able to think about all the people, all the friends I've had over the years and stuff. You know, and I'm still got loads going on at the moment. And as I said, you know, I'm glad I've got to do it when my wheels are still turning and the wheels of my friends are still turning. So it gives me sort of an energy about it. I'm not, it's, you know, it's an autobiography, but it's not like super reflective. It's pretty pacey, you know. But again, I've totally forgotten questions.
Through the book, you get to name check influences and idols and friends. Have you gotten any surprising reactions? Has anyone reached out?
Yeah, a few people have contacted me. I'm kind of amazed because the book's only been out a couple of weeks, so they must have been like, shit, what's he written? Yeah, I got, you know, amazing text from Brian Ferry, which is really very, very beautiful. I've got a really funny text from Noel Gallagher, as you can imagine. Neil Tennant from Pet Shop Boys. Got a great bit on the back for Iggy Pop. I could go on.
I know we could go on for all night. It feels like we do want to leave some time for questions from the audience if you guys have them. I'm not sure how we're going to manage this, but I'm happy to be a roving microphone as long as this cable is. You, sir, have a question. All right. Yeah, this might be tough. I'll go around back here. Okay. Hi, what's your name?
Adrian. Hey, Johnny. A couple friends and I drove 4 hours to see you, so.
Oh, nice one. Thank you very much.
Just a quick question on guitars. I love guitars and got your model a couple years back. Love it. Just wondering why don't see you play, for example, other brands like PRS. What's your opinion on PRS guitars?
PRS?
Yeah.
The honest answer is that when they were just not considered to be cool when I was doing my thing. I mean, I understand, I know what they are, and I know they're amazing really technically brilliant, but you sort of gravitate towards the instruments that your heroes play. That's the thing, really. And, you know, I was very, very into the Velvets, and I was very into, I mean, so many people, but if Mark Bogman had played the PRS, I would have had one straight away. It's simple as that. Well, I'm not a snob or an elitist. If it's got no headstock and it's pink and all of that shit. You never know though, I've done, you know. You never know.
Alright, question over here. What's your name?
Hi, Johnny, it's Jose. My question is, if you were to get elected with the Smiths as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, would you guys perform? What do you think your thoughts
God, no. First off, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame I don't really know what it is. Seriously. Secondly, I know she can't in it, so that's a load of bullshit. I've been nominated 10 times and they're still not in it. It's not so everything I hear about it sounds a little iffy to me.
Okay. We may need you to just shout your question, sir. So what's your question? Then we'll take this young woman.
My name's James. I love your guitar playing,
Yeah.
Just to restate the question for those who maybe couldn't hear is would you do an instrumental album?
Yeah, you know, I've thought about it a couple of times. The bottom line is that so far, up to now, I just really liked pop music. You know, and it seems like whenever I've done an instrumental track, I just really want to find an interesting voice on top of it. So I've written most of my songs were instrumental tracks, but you know, I just knew some really good singers, and it always sounded better with them on it. But I do think that probably happened. I imagine because it sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, I think I'll do that.
What's your name?
Michelle. Hi. I wanted to first start off by saying thank you for being here. And Stuff for Little Children is about a masterpiece. It still floors me. You were what, 18 when you wrote that?
What song's that, sir?
Stuff for Little Children?
Yeah. Children is, me and Morrissey wrote that the very first day we got together as songwriters. We'd only been together one day before that, was when I went and knocked on his door and said, do you want to be in his band? And then, you know, he and I went and I was in his bedroom talking about his band. It's just kind of a really weird scenario when you think about it. And so then, officially, the next time we met was officially the first day of Yes, the Smiths, but it was just the two of us, and we wrote 2 songs, and So for Little Children was one of the few songs where I had the lyrics first, and yeah, so. That thing, and but I looked at these words and they were about the Moors murders, you know, and you know, the Moors murders were these serial. It's too horrific to even share with you, to be honest with you, and but these killers and serial killing couple in Manchester in the 60s when Morrison himself grew up in, and he was in the area that I grew up in, and it was interesting to talk about. Again, that was something I was going to have to talk about in the book, because that was when we wrote our very first songs, you know, the very first day. And I look back on it now, and it's a very strange scenario, you know, to be 18, 19, and just pouring that music out about that subject matter. And, you know, for you to say that it's, you know, you've got good emotions about it, it makes me know that I was on the right track. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it.
Was that your question?
It wasn't, but if it's
Thank you.
my question was, yeah, so it's been pretty well documented that when you started out with the Smiths, your influences were quite heavily Motown leaning.
Yeah.
So what genres would you say has shaped your sound since then?
Well, a really, really good, quick example. Is that it's kind of hard to do with like low volume, but a good example is that, believe it or not, disco. Which is kind of, you have to watch when you say disco in America. So, I think it's got a little better over the last few years. So in the mid-70s, when me and my friends, my mates were like learning how to be rock guys and learning how to play rock music and look like rock guys and everything. After glam rock, we all got into Neil Young, you know, and my parents used to go see bands on a Friday and Saturday, and me and my sister, who was in our teens, my sister's 11 months younger than me, she's a real badass, and we used to, we're very, very tight, hang out together, and she was very hip, and she used to like a lot of disco music, and we lived in this, we lived in a concrete box, as I say, called Projects over here. It was miles and miles and miles of these concrete boxes, full of kids, and So I was in this concrete box, my parents went out, we go out every Friday, Saturday, as soon as all the tape-backs go out, down, through that row of boxes. All the kids from the estate would rush in, with cider, and we were supposed to be babysitting my little brother who was 9 years younger. And he loved it, though, he just loved it because he stayed up late and what we'd see, let him watch whatever we liked. And me and my pals, this is a true story. Me and my mates, Andy Rowe was one of them, who ended up being the best player in Smiths. We're in my bedroom, as usual, Friday night. Got a tiny bit of hash. and we're playing this. Oh, man, sitting by your side. Next door, there's paper thin walls in the 70s council house. You know, sounded like Studio 54 in there, so. I'm like this. So my sister, the door opened, and my sister she popped her head and she said, "You look like you're having a good time." Dancing off, right? So I thought, fuck that. So I went next door, and then I heard this music that was kind of along the lines. Aside from me being groovy, I just thought that was so romantic. And so I just found out about Marr Rogers, and do you remember that when I was telling you about on his mouse strap? So that's how I got really influenced by disco music. And so the Smiths we had 6 songs when we got to song number 6. And then I was at my parents' house. I went around my parents' house one night and I was sitting around and I started playing a disco riff, which was and I thought, I think that's great. We should be a disco band. No, I didn't. I just thought this is great. So, but I didn't have a tape recorder at my parents, so I thought, shit, I've got to get this riff down. So Angie just passed the driving test, and then she had this Volkswagen Beetle at her parents, so I said, take me around tomorrow. She said, he's got a tape recorder, take me. So she got me in the car, and don't lose this riff, I've got my feet up on the dashboard. I'm just playing that, and on the journey about midway through, Angie did something she never does. She just interjected and she said, make it sound like Iggy. And I was like, huh? And then she said, they're more like a command than a request. She said, make it sound like Iggy. So I thought, well, okay, so I really like Raw Power, James Williamson, so I just went. And then threw a bit of Rebel in. I thought, right, okay, it sounds like a Smith song now. So we get to Morris's house, Sunday evening, and I was praying it wasn't the one night of the year when he left the house. I knock on the door, he answers the door, and I'm stood at the door serenading him. Moss. And because we were mates and he was so cool, he went, I'll get Get the tape recorder. It was cool. So, I got the tape recorder, I recorded it, and it became our first single. It was Hand in Glove, and I just thought it was the greatest thing in the world. So I really loved it. And that was how, and I didn't know it at the time, but I crossed Now Rogers with David Bowie, who did Let's Dance 5 years before either of those two guys did. And that's how I into disco music.
Can you talk about How Soon Is Now?
Yeah, How Soon Is Now was this is I'll make this quick. I had to do we were high in the charts, we'd had a few hits, and I lived in Hills Court, and I had to come up with some songs like you were asking before about how, inspiration and all of this, but sometimes it's just homework, and you scrape your brain. So anyway, the rest of the band went off on a rare weekend off somewhere, and I'd already had this little riff, which I knew would be good for an A-side. Anyway, it's a really short song, but it was really nothing, so I spent all the Saturday on my own. I demoed that in a few hours, really easy. It's a short song, it just went by real quick. And then, because I'd done the A-side, and that was a short, fast, breezy track, I thought, well, I'll make the B-side. I'll make the B-side different. So I thought I'll write something slow and sad. And because I was on my own, I'd been living in Hills Court, and I was missing Manchester, and I thought, okay, well, I'll try and write something that is Irish, reminds me of my home, so I started doing this, I wrote a song that came, please, please, please let me get what I want, which is just it didn't feel as jolly as that. I was feeling very sick, Anyway, I got this very melancholic track down on it. So I had the first track, which is really, that's the A side. Got the B side, slow and waltzy. That was really nice. So I was feeling pretty good for myself on Sunday. I thought, right, so the thing with the Smiths is that, which was really cool, is that we also wrote our songs in batches of 3. Because in the 80s, we used to put out 12 singles, we used to put out an extra track on the B-side. And most of our records, the singles weren't even on albums, they were just 3 tracks at a time. And because I'd done the short, fast one, and I'd done the short, slow one, I thought I'll do a slow, long, groovy one. Because I had the A-side done and B-side done, I just lit a joint and I just played this really simple. Oh, and then I thought about this band called the Gun Club, who'd done a version of Creedence from the Jungle, and I just thought, right, I'll try and do something that sounds like a Gun Club, so I just put some headphones on and got stoned and just did I liked it because it was so simple. It was just so simple. And then when we got in the studio, the band and the producer, and then we had this whole sort of magic magic session where it just turned into something really kind of voodoo-y and brilliant and paranoid, and you know, we just captured this sort of lightning in a bottle, which if you're lucky and you've got a vibe going, you can really do it, and if you stay up looking balls off, sometimes it happens, so that's what happened with that song.
You know, standing here, I just can't stop smiling, just hearing you talk and play. I know that everyone here bought a book and may expect to have it signed, and we're going to get to that. So we should probably wrap.
Hey, everybody, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Jason for doing such a great
Johnny Marr, everyone.